Hello, everybody. Today on TrendKillRadio, we talk about We Came as Romans, Kyle Pavone, tragic death, Liam Gallagher, Choke's girlfriend, and the album review of Alice in Chains' Rainier Fog. All this and more on TrendKillRadio. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Ryan.
And I am Jimothy.
And this is TrendKillRadio. Today we have some bad news. As usual, when you're here, we always have to talk about tragedy.
Right.
Look what you bring.
Right. No good news comes from me.
I know. So let's just get into this right now. Kyle Pavone from We Came as Romans, their singer, not screamer, he tragically lost his life.
Singer, and he played synths and keys and stuff in the band as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. On August 25th, they were able to kind of find him. Apparently, it was an accidental overdose.
Yeah, recent reports that just came out yesterday, which I'm glad that we actually we waited before we covered this, because there's when an initial statement comes out, it's not exactly, it's just a short blip of what actually happened. We didn't really know at the time how he had passed. You know, we found out just yesterday. A coroner's report had stated, according to TMZ, that he had died of an accidental drug overdose. And we still really don't know if it was suicide or if it was an accident. This actually happened. He was in Michigan. He was admitted to a hospital August 19th, and he wasn't pronounced dead until the 25th. So he was in the hospital after this overdose. It reminds me a lot of like Demi Lovato. Like,
right.
When you heard of her overdose, I know she didn't pass, but when you heard of it, you just thought like, oh, well, she got Narcan. Her friends helped her out, and that's the end of the story. But she was in the hospital in some pretty serious condition for about 3 or 4 days or something.
And we really don't know the exact the exact cause. We just know
it's going to take about 8 weeks.
Yeah, the toxicology report needs to come out, and that takes about 8 weeks. So
we don't know what he overdosed on.
Right, or to what extent. Yeah. So that's still upcoming. Pretty tragic in general. I mean, the band's been around for quite a while. Pretty big staple in the metalcore scene. Had about 5. They put out like 5 full studio albums, so they had a pretty substantial backlog of work and everything.
Yeah, they started getting big in like 2013, I believe.
I think at that time they were actually charting pretty high on like Billboard. That's how reputable they were getting.
I know they reached number 8, I think, on the Billboard charts, which is for a metalcore band to do something like that. That's pretty impressive. They're known for their songs. Hope, The World I Used to Know, and I Knew You Were Trouble. Probably talking about a girl. Yeah. Their album Taking Back Roots reached number 8 on the Billboard charts in 2013.
It was actually number 8 on the top 100 charts, and there's actually the indie charts too, and they actually went to number 1 on the indie charts. If you're not on like a major label, they have a separate charts for that, and I think they actually went to number 1 on the indie charts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Is that an all over, like all songs, all bands? Or
I believe so, yeah, top 100.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look at that era, too. I mean, 2013, there was a dick going on in music, too. Still not dick going on in music right now.
No, things are getting better. We've done enough shows where we've reviewed albums, and I think rock music in general is on the up and up. There's a lot of new strides, but maybe I'm biased because we do this show, and I read so much more into rock music of all genres and stuff, and like I've learned so much more and opened myself up to way more music now than I ever did before this show. And I love it. It's actually cool. I found a lot of cool bands and a lot of cool things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where I'm just like, that's really impressive. I like that. I didn't even know, there's a lot of bands where I'm just like, I've never even heard of you. Falling in Reverse, Grandson, Frank Carter and stuff. I wouldn't have even given these bands a fucking chance at all. Sad to say that Pavone's death sparked We Came as Romans, opened up to that. I've heard a lot of good things about this kid, and it's sad. I mean, we're just a couple years older than him, and he's already passed.
Yeah, I mean,
he was what the band had described as, I'm paraphrasing, but I mean, just a ray of sunshine. Like this kid, he was just really fun, and people loved him, and he was just a really cool guy, and loved to hang out with fans and party with the band. and just like, all in all, just have a good time and just be a really good person. And it's sad to see that. Yeah, I've had a friend myself, that everybody loved, and he drummed for a band that I was in, and his demons got the better of him. And it's a bummer to see something like that happen when they're gone so soon because what they're into.
If there's any silver lining to what this is, this situation, the families put together the Kyle Pavone Foundation.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is actually meant to be a support group for artists that are struggling with these things. A lot of times when you're an artist at that level, you don't feel you can reach out to anybody because you're just so in the limelight. You feel fragile, isolated. You don't want to be exposing weakness when you're that exposed.
Yeah, and maybe it's not that, but I mean, I think when you are in a band that's on tour and you're reputable, you don't want to show any weakness, and you're afraid to. Yeah, I think you're in your own bubble that you're just kind of afraid to reach out to anyone, to just say that you need help. It's always just like the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like you think that's just part of the package, and it gets the better of you.
Usually, by the time they're actually like reaching out or being vocal about it, it's pretty much like too late. They're already like well into it. I mean, the day he passed, he actually posted on Twitter lyrics from one of their songs. I will be remembered, or I will be lost in loving eyes.
We've lost a lot of great musicians in the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. Maybe even just a touch more than that. But I mean, Prince and Scott Weiland and Lemmy.
I mean, we just lost Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, not the drugs.
Not the drugs. Right. Yeah, the only other thing that I had is like when I was kind of digging into the history because I hadn't followed the band in how many years.
You did or didn't?
Huh? I didn't follow. I followed the band initially when they first came out. And then
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're like, huh? It reminded me of Jamie Kennedy and when he's peeing in that bush in Harold and Kumar.
Excuse me, I have to ask you, why are you peeing right here?
What?
I mean, why'd you pee right next to me when you choose that bush? Or...
So you get to pee on it, no one else does? Huh?
No, I just.
This your bush?
No, I just thought that.
You're the king of forest.
I'm sorry?
What? Is this your special bush?
Never mind, forget it. I really don't feel like getting stabbed tonight.
I'm sure Kyle would want us to laugh. Fuck it.
Right on.
He seemed like a good guy. We gotta enjoy life. Come on, man. Thank you to our sponsor, Miller Lite. God, is that good? Okay, so next story, Liam Gallagher. You all know him from Oasis and his solo pursuits.
In your opinion, who is the better brother?
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's a hard one because you know what? Liam, he's the younger brother, and I myself am a younger brother, and I think I'm better than my older brother at a lot of things. So it's hard to say. I mean, Noel Gallagher and the Rare Birds, that was a very good band. He's still with it. I believe they just came out with their second album just a few months ago. Liam Gallagher, better known as the singer for Oasis, little brother of Noel. He went on to come out with a band called BDI, not BDI, but BDI, like, little pig. And now he's on his solo venture, which I think is actually better than BDI because I listened to BDI one time and it sounded like the goddamn Monkees. It fucking sucked. I really, really, really hated that so much. It was such a huge departure because Noel Gallagher, his brother, had come out with the High Flying Birds at that time around BDI. And like I was telling you earlier, when Noel Gallagher and the High Flying Birds came out with their first solo album, or his first solo album, Liam tweeted him and goes, "Is that the best you got?" I like that. That's nice.
That's a solid rivalry.
That's a solid brother rivalry. Yeah, that's great. But now he is on to his solo career, which I have listened to a little bit of his solo material, and although I can't elaborate on too much of it. It was good. So I'll look into that. I'll let you know. Not like you care, but fuck off. So Noel Gallagher, or
We're talking about Liam.
so Liam Gallagher was at a nightclub recently, and no one's talking about this, by the way. Like I am a big proponent of looking at all things rock across many websites, and like not a goddamn fucking page has mentioned this at all. I heard this on our local WMMS morning show, Rover. That Noel, God damn it, Noel is just so. he's just the better brother, apparently.
There you go.
But
You
Liam,
heard it first.
I know you guys haven't fucking heard this yet. I had heard that he had choked his girlfriend, so I did a little bit of research, and there was very little about it. But there's some damning evidence because there's a video, and let's watch that right now. I love in England they say this is footage that some people may find distressing. Like, oh, I'm so distressed about this. Okay, so here we see the girlfriend. Yeah, she was trying to hold him back. She put herself in the doorway. Oh,
look at that.
Oh, man.
Oh.
And then she like tucks herself away in a corner. Like she goes to some like little hallway or something like that.
Right, and it's like, all right, that's enough. All right, step off to the side.
Yeah, that's so weird. And then dude from the hotel comes up and is like, hey, all you doing? What's going on? And okay, all right, good, bye-bye.
His exact dialogue. You heard it here first.
Although his face was blurred, I could read his lips. Tally-ho. And the Sun on Sunday, an English paper, they uploaded this footage.
But I think Liam straight up like tweeted like fake news.
Yeah, no, he did. He did. He fucking pulled a Trump and said fake news. That was crazy. And then his girlfriend, which you know the history on his wives and children. Wait, run that by me one more time.
Right. So this was his current girlfriend. So he came out of a current divorce, which he got divorced because he got another woman pregnant. That's the same case for his first marriage. Same thing. He got married, and then that ended in divorce because he got another woman pregnant. So he has 4 children from 4 different women.
I guess they would say in England, he's a scoundrel. A rascal.
It makes it sound so classy, though. Like, oh, you're a scummy piece of shit. And no, you're a scoundrel.
You're the Eddie Murphy of England. 10 kids. He's working on.
Eddie Murphy has 10 kids.
The 10th one is due soon. Like, jeez. Oh my god! Good thing that guy's got that Nutty Professor money.
Right.
So as you can see, yes.
What about Mick Jagger's got a lot of kids though too?
Oh
right?
god!
I think he's got like 11.
I think he just had one like last year or whatever. The motherfucker's like 78.
Yeah,
right?
And I think
he's got to be around 75 to 80. Okay, I don't know the accuracy of it. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to look it up.
And
he's fucking old.
And he's got like kids ranging from like 48 to like newborn.
Oh, with the most gorgeous women in the world too. I believe I think he was married to the blonde that was in the original 1989 Batman that has her face disfigured by the Joker and she has the mask. I believe that was one of his first wives, but I digress. So like it seems like the Sun out in UK, like I think like someone ratted on Liam, like that was looking at the footage. And Liam Gallagher says on Twitter, he comes out after the allegations have been made. The video has not yet been reported or posted yet. Gallagher goes on Twitter and he says, "Firstly, I have never put my hands on any woman in a vicious manner." While Debbie, who works with him, wrote, his manager, Debbie, his girlfriend, wrote, "The Sun have surpassed themselves yet again. Shame on them. Pack of lies as usual. Lazy, sexist nonsense." Then they go, "Yes, fake news."
You are fake news.
And they're talking legal action, like they want to sue the Sun. And then the fucking video comes out, and you blatantly see him. Whatever she said, he turns around and just Undertakers.
I guess a couple of years ago, they also were basically just screaming at each other in public at some place called the Soho Farmhouse in Oxfordshire. So they were at some other club and they were just like screaming at each other in public. So this isn't the first time this shit's happened like out in the real world.
Yeah, what is Liam? He's 45 and his girlfriend is 36. Look at that unibrow. You'd think if you were a millionaire, you'd shave that little piece right there.
Right.
Wow. So
I mean, you're a millionaire. You don't have to. Fuck it.
Also, yes. Good luck, mate. And mattress.
Cheers.
You guys, it's your own goddamn problem. To Debbie, you know what you were getting into when you fucking start dating a guy like that.
Dating a guy who's twice divorced. Out of that second divorce.
I think one of those kids, it was just recently brought to his attention earlier in the year. He didn't even know that he had like a 20-year-old kid.
Oh, maybe that was the kid from the first marriage, not the one from the marriage, from the relationship that broke up the first marriage.
Yeah, like I guess they recently just met this year. And on to our final segment of the evening. Alice in Chains come out with their third album with William Duvall, entitled Rainier Fog. Jim, did you like this?
I thought it was all right. I haven't been into
you don't
Alice
have to
in
get like
Chains
too deep into
years.
it, but I mean,
yeah, I gave it a listen. It was definitely a good album. I mean, it's Alice in Chains, so you're not, it's going to be decent production. I love how they still sound like they've become modernized, but they haven't lost their sound in that process.
I want to say that it does remind, like, although they came out with their reboot with William Duvall back in 2009 or 2010 with Black Gives Way to Blue, with their new singer. It kind of reminds me in more recent years right now with like a TV reboot, like whether it be Roseanne or Full House or something like that. Like it's still the same thing, but they've changed it just enough where it's just kind of updated. And William, he is a great singer. The one thing that I had always thought about Lane Staley, I mean, God rest his soul, he was such a fantastic singer, but he didn't do too much that no one else could do. It was the tonality of his voice,
right?
I really believe. Just like Scott Weiland. Scott Weiland was not a great singer. Like, I mean, if you're going to go across the big four, Chris Cornell, hands down, was like the best goddamn singer out of Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and Pearl Jam. Fuck Pearl Jam. That's why I forgot them. Eddie Vedder, yeah, whatever. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but I don't care. But Lane Staley, he had this voice that was, the tonality of it was just so beautiful and so haunting that those were big shoes to fill. You know?
Yeah.
And especially even till this day, I've been reading reviews and I'm looking at comments and stuff because people are pieces of shit. As I have just learned the past couple of days, even on our own episodes, people aren't always going to be a fan.
Right.
of what you do, but
someone has to talk shit when they can talk shit. It's just an inevitable part of the internet and life in general.
Exactly. And I love it because I'm one of those people. But I digress. William, he is a much needed and fresh breath of air to Alice in Chains, and what I have seen with this new reincarnation with the past 3 albums, Black Gives Way to Blue and The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, and now which just released last Friday, Rainier Fog. The Alice in Chains is still pretty much the damn near same, but I've noticed their tempo has kind of driven up a little bit, which just means like they're changing with the times, and they're just a lot of the songs are a little bit faster, as where Alice in Chains in their glory days, their most famous days of Dirt and their Tripod, it was very sludgy and very slow,
right?
And which was completely their sound. That was it, though. I mean, they were the darkest band of that big 4, like I was just mentioning.
Mm-hmm. I think too. Just the general sound of what they've been doing in recent years. They definitely kind of gathered the fact that music has become heavier in general. That people are used to a heavier sound, and they kind of dug into that. Like even on the one the first track out of the gate.
Awesome song.
It hits hard. It's got a great feel to it.
I bought that the day it came out. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sorry. but yeah, it's a great song, and it's heavy, but it's got a rock singer on it. Like you could easily hear like different varieties of heavy vocal over those same kind of riffs and instrumentation. But they brought that sound and they honed it in, but they still kept it like an accessible rock sound.
Yeah, this is one of the bands where I will absolutely just buy the album straight up. Like I don't care about like Spotify and streaming and all that stuff. There are certain bands that I am akin to where just no matter what they put out, I will just buy that album straight up. And they've done such a good job. I really loved Black Gives Way to Blue, and The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here was, it's although Alice in Chains had been around for so long before that, it was a new singer, and it was I consider it still like a sophomore album. And sophomore albums, they're like sequels in movies, and they're never. They're never as good, in my opinion. It was good. I mean, like Lab Monkey and Low Ceiling. God damn, that song's fucking awesome. But onto this third one, I think they have made such a progression in terms of layering. They've done an even a better job than they did with their last album.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big staples of Alice in Chains too, that people really loved about the Lane Staley era because of his tonalities and his layering.
Jerry and Lane.
Yeah, just the way their voices stacked and just blended together. I mean, there was something. I mean, there was magic there. It's like it was nothing. It wasn't studio it wasn't studio.
It wasn't processed.
It was just the natural way their voices blended. It just made it happen.
They did so good, It's just one of the guys was like, "I'll go high, you go low," and then they doubled it up, and it was beautiful, very haunting. And speaking of haunting, there's a song right at the last song of the 10-track album, All I Am. I love it because I like spooky shit. So let's just real quick, let's take a listen. Listen to that bass, though. Oh, yeah. That just hits that
low. I also, in general, I love the drums on this album. Very
Mike Kinney.
Very punchy, but still very natural sounding. Like not overprocessed like a lot of modern drums in our recordings.
And Jerry Cantrell, I mean, he has his fresh batch of just like chunky, heavy fucking riffs where it's like, we're so akin again. Is that even the right word that I'm trying to use? Okay. We're, also, yes. We're also so used to C tuning now. Like I've gotten into so much music that is a lot heavier, and there's various methods of C tuning. Jerry, he still does half step down detuning, and he still makes it sound so fucking heavy And it's just like I'm at a loss of words. Like, he is just incredible at making that sound so fucking heavy for so light on how it is on the scale of how heavy you could make a guitar. You know?
And it's just it's in the writing. It really is. It's like you knowing your limitations of your low end, he crafts melodies and riffs.
Yeah,
knowing that it can resolve to make those that open half step down tuning just sound chunky as fuck because he builds it higher and he crafts it just right, and the riffs just hit where they need to.
Chunky is the right word for it too, because I mean it is just like a kid at the water park, like chunky. But So Far Under is so wild because Williams' voice is going along with the melody of the guitar, where that's counterintuitive of what you really do these days.
Right.
You know, like you're looking for a completely new melody to counteract what the guitar is doing. And Alice in Chains is so heavily guitar based, so like,
I think it's
I thought that was so fucking wild, man. Like it's something like you would expect that of a band that's just like starting out or something, like kids in a garage that just don't know any better.
Right, but when you do it right,
yeah,
you're creating that
when you're a fucking pro.
Yeah, that melody across the entire spectrum of the band. You anchor it in, and then you put a bunch of ear candy around it. It can be so heavy if everybody is in the groove and hitting the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, and in the pocket is a perfect description, Jimothy, of what this band is really like. I mean, they just know each other so well that they know what they're gonna fucking do. Rainier Fog is a great song. Red Giant, I love that. So Far Under and the one their first two singles, those were brilliant. As I had said, All I Am, haunting, just like classic Alice in Chains creepy sound. Like if you took out the vocals, I mean you could borderline put that in a horror movie. I'm thinking 28 Days Later, just background and Never Fade. His Williams verses really remind me so much of Lane Staley. That's so reminiscent of Lane, and it's a beautiful homage to Lane Staley. If you're tired of just the culture of the music that's going on right now, I mean, this is a perfect album for you. Alice in Chains, Rainier Fog, I love it. Give it a couple listens. I mean, even if it's just on iTunes and you're listening to the 90-second clips or something like that, go over it a little bit. And then, maybe on the next day or something, listen to it again. There's something that's going to catch your ear. And I loved it way more than The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. And this was, it's upbeat. And there's a couple songs that are very Alice in Chains sludgy kind of sounding. It's so well crafted, and it's the reason why they take so long. I mean, there's years in between these past three albums. I mean, it is definitely 3 or 4 years in between each album that they've done.
Absolutely,
and it's definitely well worth it, well worth the wait.
And when you do that, they probably went into a studio with probably like 20, 30 songs and pared it down to this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it's only 10 songs, but these songs are pretty long, really. I mean, even their singles are 5 minutes long, and when you're Alice in Chains, you can do that. You don't have to worry about that 3.5-minute staple.
Right.
Because they don't even care about radio airplay. They're such a legendary name that they're going to do just fine. They don't need the radio help.
People will buy it, and the residual from radio will be
built
meaningless.
built in. So any of the naysayers that say, William... fuck William, Lane or nothing. Like, well, you're a fucking loser. Shut up. You don't know shit.
Right.
You whiny crybaby. Guess what?
I mean,
Lane Staley's dead. That's not. You know what? He's not coming back.
Right.
This isn't a band that changed singers. This isn't Anthrax in the '90s, or Iron Maiden or something like that.
Everybody else in the band is still an amazing musician. Are they just supposed to not do anything anymore?
Yeah, I know. Jerry Cantrell did so well by himself back in like 2002, but I mean, there was an immense talent, and it's just one of those things where it's just like these guys they have such a bond, You know, it's like when you and I practice after years, or not years,
Well,
months.
feels like years, but yeah,
No.
after months, yeah.
Yeah, we just know, we get it.
Yeah, just comes back and it clicks.
Yeah. We just know what we're doing. We're just in the pocket with each other, and we just know what we're doing. And it was just that's just what Alice in Chains is like, man. I'm going to give it a rating. I want to give it 8.2. I mean, fantastic album. So good. So good.
Personally, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but personally, going from it objectively, I can definitely give it an 8. It is a solid album through and through. Well performed, great songs.
It is. Like I said, if you give it a few more listens, it does get so much better. That is the end of this episode of Trendkill Radio. Please, everybody, subscribe. Like us. Go to facebook.com/TrendKillRadio216 and like our page. But most importantly, subscribe. We're on a mission to... Sound like the Blues Brothers.
For me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
But we're trying to get to 100 subscribers, and I believe we have 88 right now. So we're very close. So please, if you like this show, come back for more. I mean, not everything's going to be a fucking gem, but I mean, we try our best. And please subscribe.
Yeah.
Meow. And like it. And please, oh man, I love talking to you guys in the comments, whether they be good or bad. The bad ones are hilarious because I get to fuck with you people. So, like us, subscribe, and that is it. I am Sean Ryan.
And I am Jimothy.
And this is Trendkill Radio. William John Paul Gallagher. So Liam's not even his fucking name.
I think it's derivative of William.
Oh, is that what they do in England?
Yeah.
They just go, this is a completely different name. Well, I guess it's Bill and William. Well, it's the end. He should be Bill Gallagher.
Yes. I would see that show.